Welcome everyone on behalf of Athena Village and Kristin Designs to this AHA conversation, Ask Her Anything. Kristin is a member of Athena Village, and these are the conversations that we love to have with our members to find out what your superpower is. And this is one of Kristin's superpowers.
Okay. Well, thank you so much again for attending. This is my first eDesign webinar. This is my newest service that I offer, and one that I am very excited about, and one that I feel I need to educate people about more. So that is kind of why I decided to start doing some webinars around this topic specifically. So what is eDesign? It is an affordable, fun, and easy way for any homeowner to work online with a designer. I have just a very brief agenda. We'll talk a little bit more about the specifics of eDesign, how my particular eDesign process works. I'll show some actual client projects that I've worked on that were implemented to completion. So I have kind of the design board, inspiration, and then the actual photos of the finished product. I will do a brief demo in the program that I use to complete the design boards for my clients. And I'll review the design packages that the eDesign packages that I currently have set up. And then we'll end with any questions that anyone might have. I don't know how much we have to go into this since you all know me, but I think you all know me pretty well. I'm a huge cat person. I love prints. I've owned my business since 2010, and it has drastically changed from the inception to where I am now. And I'm just gonna restate the eDesign and why I'm really trying to promote this. As I'm aging and wanting to be more mobile and maybe winter somewhere or go up to our cabin more in the summer, I want to take my work with me. And this is a service that allows me to do that. I'm not meeting with people in their homes, and it really allows me to be mobile. So about my business, I did change the name of my business, Kelly Sites. I don't know if you've been keeping tabs, but I did do a transition from my previous business name to now Kristin Designs, which better reflects the direction that my business has taken over the last few years. Mm-hmm. I still do offer home staging consultations, but I really do mostly design work. And that includes eDesign or in-person design projects and consultations, color consultations, that sort of thing. Mm-hmm. I'm also involved in the Real Estate Staging Association, which is the national organization for home stagers and designers. I am back on the board this year for a 2-year commitment as the president-elect. I founded the chapter in 2016 and was the first president. And I will now be serving as president-elect this year and president for next year in 2024. And I'm very proud. I have to mention we did win chapter of the year last year, which is a big deal. There's I don't know how many chapters there are, but I would have to guess there's definitely over 100 throughout the world. So that was exciting. I do have a number of design certifications, including the Expert E-Designer. I've become a color expert. I'm a certified home stager and redesigner. I also volunteer as a Christmas tree designer for the Auburn Homes Festival of Trees fundraiser. And I've been doing that for a number of years. It's a really, really great organization that I'm proud to be a part of. And I'm proud to have been a multi-year winner of Best of in Customer Service with House. So what is e-design? E-design is a technology that allows a designer to provide inspiration as well as sourcing, as well as instruction for a client to execute on their own. And I'll go into that a little bit more as we go through the presentation. All of the design, e-design projects that I work on for clients are custom designed to them specifically and the actual room that they are asking about. It's a simple process. I can work with all budgets and I can design for all spaces, which includes outdoor patios, decks, that sort of thing. I also have the capability to do more of a 3D design. I currently do not have this in my package pricing. And the reason is there are a little bit of limitations around this at the moment. I'm hoping it'll change, but the tool that I work with will not allow me to put in the actual product that I might be recommending for a particular client. They have their own list of products that we can pull into these different rooms to show what it will look like, but it doesn't reflect like an actual chair that I maybe picked for a project. Does that make sense?
So Kristin, with the 3D, if you did add this to your packages, you would do something like this basically to give the client sort of perspective on spacing and that sort of thing?
Correct. Yeah, so there are 3 different views that we can work at. One is from the top down with just kind of the SketchUp. One is a little bit more detailed, as you can see, with, you know, showing more of the actual products in it. And the other one where my cursor is here, this is actually like a 3D image that you can move around and look at from different angles. But the reason I don't want to include it at this time is, like I said, I can't. So if I have a sofa table here for a client, I can't pull in the actual sofa table that I want them to purchase. I'm limited to what's preloaded in the program right now.
I can imagine that it would help with color and spacing and that sort of thing. Like this room is a little odd shaped, so it would help the person get a sense of.
Yeah, yep. So that is something that I would talk with. If a particular space was kind of odd shaped, I could talk with my client and tell them if they would like, I could do one of these for them to better illustrate how it will actually look as set up, but not with the actual products I might be recommending. Okay. If anybody has any more questions about that, we can talk a little bit more at the end about it. So I'm gonna go into a couple of actual projects that I've worked on for clients. One is a bedroom. This client was interested in doing their primary or master bedroom kind of top to bottom. They wanted new paint colors and all new furniture. They struggled because it's a smaller house, a little bit older house. They didn't have a lot of closet space, and it also connected to their bathroom. So we wanted to make sure the colors coordinated. The bathroom colors were kind of a navy blue. So I kind of pulled the colors from the bathroom that had already been updated. So this is what I came up with. All new furniture. Because it was a smaller space, I did choose a light wood. It's like an off-white whitewash kind of look. I provided for them a standing wardrobe, which gave them, they had the space for it, and it gave them a lot more storage space. And then I gave them some different color options. They did end up going with a lighter kind of greenish blue called sea salt. Very pretty color. The artwork here illustrates the artwork that she wanted me to work with. And that also was part of my inspiration for this design. We're pulling from those colors. So this was, I did not touch this room physically in any way. She sent me these pictures after she had painted and purchased everything and set it up. So, and then you can sort of see like this art over here that is the floral art, where kind of the pops of the orange come into play. Another one that I've worked on that I actually have the after pictures for was a home office. This was the before picture, how it was before I did the design for them. She wanted to keep her furniture, the wood furniture, because it was still in really good condition. So I did work with this. She wanted a coastal feel. So I pulled in some items that were similar to what she already has, just so she could see how it all kind of works together. I offered a couple of different colors. One was a little bit more gray with blue undertones, and one was a little more blue. Offered some artwork. She's a big Lake Minnetonka person, so I found this really cool piece of art on Etsy, I think it was. You know, some window treatment options, that sort of thing, some different decor. And then I also gave her some recommendations for a different furniture arrangement. So she pulled the furniture away from the walls, set the bookcases on another wall opposite of where the desk is now facing out into the room. And this is, oops, kind of the after that she put together. I've had some really nice feedback on from some of the clients that I've worked with. I just kind of wanted to highlight a few things on, you know, how easy it is. Like here, she said the design boards she provided along with the links to shop made it easy to bring her vision to life. And I'll go back into more of the shopping aspect of it shortly here. And this is the one that I showed you. I'm sorry that I don't know how to get rid of this. But anyways, loved the white wood dressers and the orange rust pop of color. She was really struggling with what to do. This was my very first design I presented to her. I did not do a rework at all for her. So I feel like I can capture what people are looking for pretty quickly and easily. So okay. So I am, again, sorry about this. I don't know why cannot get rid of this, but anyways, so this is kind of a visual of the process from beginning to end. I mentioned that it's affordable, it's fun, and it's easy. It's actually a perfect service and a perfect fit for someone who doesn't mind doing more of the DIY, and they probably have a pretty good sense of style, but they are overwhelmed with options or where to begin, or maybe don't quite trust their judgment. That's kind of what I'm finding. So the process is, there is a website that you go to. You fill out a questionnaire. You can upload photos of your room. You can do that initially or down the road too. It can come later. I am then triggered via an email that a design request has come in. We schedule a phone or a video call to discuss your project. I create the room design based on your specific style, budget, etc. Depending on the project or the package that you buy, revisions are made based on your feedback after I show you a completed initial design concept. And then I do those revisions and give you a final room design, including the instruction on how to implement. Oops. Okay, so I am going to get out of this. And I'm going
It sounds like so much fun. I just have to say that
it is.
I've always wanted, I don't know how many of you have always wanted to have an actual designer help you with your spaces. I always have, but this looks like a way to actually do it. Is that one of the perks? Is it's bringing this kind of into the hands of the people? You know, what you think that it's only the ultra rich who get to have designers, but now we
Right.
have
It's quite affordable, and we'll touch on that in a minute here. So this is kind of this is the platform that I work on. It's called Design Files. The questionnaire is I kind of did a mock one, so I'll just walk through it with you. You basically just tell me which room you're wanting, why you want it. Are you moving into a new home? Are you just needing a refresh? How finished is the space? Is it a brand new home? Are you getting rid of everything and we're starting from scratch? Are there a few pieces that you want me to work with? You can specify any of that information. What is your time frame for wanting this completed? What is the budget that you have in mind for it? And then what is your style? And there are some photos to give you kind of a trigger, and you can pick multiples if you like multiple styles, which most of us do. You can pick all of them, or if you're only wanting mid-century modern, maybe you like other styles, but for this particular room, you just want one style, you can just select one. And then some descriptors on how you want it to feel, which, you know, this really helps me a lot to know, and, you know, what type of furniture maybe to pick, what colors to pick for you, that sort of thing.
Love that.
And then if you have any favorite furniture stores or, you know, home decor places, that is helpful because, you know, if someone says Pottery Barn, I initially kind of know what look and feel they're looking for. So as I mentioned, you can add images right away, or you can provide them for me later. You can tell me what your color preferences are. If you're not sure, that would be something we'd talk through more at our initial call. And if you have any specific colors that you definitely want in the space. Measurements are pretty crucial for me to have. I need to make sure that the furniture I'm selecting is going to fit in the space. So that is something I absolutely do need. And, you know, you can select who you share the space with, if any. A lot of people I work with have pets, and they want like pet-friendly fabrics or durable fabrics. If they have young kids, you know, they might not want to spend an arm and a leg for a sofa right now, but they want something new. So, you know, these are all really helpful questions for me. Okay. So then, so say you've done that and I'm triggered, we've had our talk. I'm just gonna quickly go through, these are actually some designs that I've done for people. This was a small business office, not in a home, in a rented space. This person has a employee, so there were 2 desks needed. I'll just kind of give you, this is where I'm able to kind of put all of my notes in and design instruction or any notes that I want them to see. As we go down farther, it also lists out each product individually. So the cool thing about this is, say you're like, oh, I love this chair, I'm getting this chair. You click on it. Okay, the chair is no longer available. Wait, let me see. Okay, sometimes that happens where an item is, I try and make sure that everything I'm pulling in is available still. But like, for instance, this one only has one color option now, not the color that I recommended. But you can click on it and look at more about what the product is, look at any reviews there are on it, you know, look at more specifically what the fabric is, you know, that sort of thing. I do want to make a note here too, when I am working with people, especially if it's like a living room where a sofa is being used frequently, or any piece of furniture that is going to be used a lot, I try to shop locally for that person so that they could go to the showroom and actually see the product, sit in it, feel it, that sort of thing. I know I wouldn't probably buy a sofa for my primary living room online where I've never seen it before. So that's, unless somebody tells me otherwise, that is what I typically do for people. And that's usually a conversation we have too in our initial call. This was another one I did for a client. They wanted kind of the black and gold look. I put the paint color in the background on this sheet so they could see how everything kind of looks against that. You've seen this one, the bedroom. I mentioned I do outdoor spaces. So, I can do a cute little patio or deck, or multiple big areas where, like an outdoor dining table is needed and chairs around a fire pit, that sort of thing. This was a living room design that I worked on. They have cats. They didn't want the carpet covered cat towers. So I did find kind of a more stylish option for them, along with one of the things she commented that she loved that she had never thought about was on this one divider wall she had when you first walked into the home. The kitchen was behind it, and then the living room was in the entry, essentially. I suggested putting a peel and stick wallpaper on that wall to just do something a little bit different. They are probably knocking the wall out within 5 years. So in the meantime, it just is kind of a fun, interesting look. And this is another one I did recently. Just they wanted all new furniture for their living room. And they wanted some storage space for grandkids' toys. So, okay, so I'm going to go back to that first one, the blank one. Not that you really need to know exactly how this is created, but I want to give a quick demo because it is pretty cool. I'm just going to do the room board. So this program gives me the option to shop from a bunch of products that are already populated from a lot of common vendors. Our House, Ashley, Crate and Barrel, Overstock, Pier 1, Pottery Barn, Target. It doesn't have every single thing that these people carry. So I usually will shop it, like kind of shop from scratch myself. And I'm able to build my own library of resources as I go, because I can clip this chair into my own personal library. And I can organize them by what they are. So as I'm doing a design, I'm always building my library. And, I sometimes have my favorites that I use in multiple designs, but that's okay. If it works, it works. So what I do is I just pull it over. If I'm wanting to add paint color in, I can pull a color in, I can crop it, I can resize things, I can move them around anywhere. So that is kind of how the board is created. And I went through and showed you how, I'm just gonna. So I can share the completed board directly through here. Let's see. Show design to client. So then you would basically get a nice kind of a more organized looking document, or not document, but email triggering that your design is done. And you could, I guess I don't know for sure if you would get it this way, but I know you see the design, you see the rationale, and you see all the products where you can click on them yourself. As far as the pricing, I currently have 3 packages. I have a 1-room, a 2-room, and a 3-room, and you get a little bit of a price break the more rooms that you do. So it's not designs, although if you wanted separate designs for 1 room, we could treat it that way. For a 1-room e-design, you basically get 1 design and 1 revision, not 1 revision, but you would say, I've looked at it and I love everything, but can you look for a new coffee table, new window treatments, and new lamps? Then I would go back and do 1 revision and then send you that final design. So, you guys can read through here on your own, but this is a 2-room and a 3-room package. And as I mentioned, you get a little bit of a savings as you buy in quantity. I think that's all I have. I don't know if that was too fast, if I explain things okay, but.
Oh, it's perfect.
So does anyone have any? I'm gonna stop sharing so I can see you all again. Does anybody have any specific questions or anything for me?
So Kelly was asking, how would you do this if the client had all existing furniture?
Well, I guess I've never had that, but my guess is that it would be more of a, like, what are the layout options with the existing furniture? Or are you talking about moving things around within the house?
Both, all of that.
Oh, okay.
Color changes?
Maybe, yeah.
Yeah, I mean,
like we have 4 million pictures to hang, and we just sort of throw them up, and there's probably a more like aesthetic. And Kristin staged our home that we sold in Waconia, and initially we were overwhelmed with her lists of things that she asked us to do. And then when we did almost all of them, the house was so much better. And we wish we had her come in when we first moved in. So that we just really appreciate your eye and your expertise in this.
You know, that might be something that would be more of a virtual design project versus like an e-design
Okay.
room, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
And you and I can certainly talk offline more about how
Okay,
that
yeah.
could work. It would be probably a lot of pictures to me,
Right.
as well as, you know, like we'd have to Zoom or do
And then you'd
video.
have to fly
Or
out.
maybe I could just take a trip out there and
Just come on.
visit you guys.
Maybe the investment will be your plane ticket for you and your fantastic
Yeah.
husband.
Ooh, that sounds good to me. No, we could certainly talk about that.
Okay, thank you.
I just don't think that that would fit into like an actual
Mm-mm.
package that I
Right,
have.
right.
Yeah.
So I have a question. How do you know if you're going to use your own furniture or if the furniture you think is okay really isn't okay?
That's a good question.
Well, again, that would be something where if you were to send me pictures of items that you were questioning, we could talk through that a little bit more and see how does it work with what you're wanting the new space to feel and look like or not. You know, a lot of times things can work. But that would, you know, be a case by case basis that we'd have more conversation with about.
Mm-hmm.
Hi, Rebecca, by the way. Thanks for joining.
And so would you, like, if I had, I'm looking at the room I'm in now, if I had several pieces of furniture that I'm sort of ambivalent about, and then one chair that I just love,
Mm-hmm.
you would help me make those decisions and say,
Yeah.
you know, if you're okay getting rid of this weird chaise longue, let's do it, because all it is awkward. We would have to like not have our feelings hurt, you know?
Yeah. Well, I mean, I try very hard not to hurt people's feelings. You know, some people are really like adamant, like this absolutely has to stay.
Mhm.
And maybe it's a way we can use it in a different way that you haven't thought about.
Right.
Or maybe it doesn't have to sit in the place where it's been sitting for 20 years because you think that's the only place it can go.
Right.
A fresh set of eyes can help you maybe make it feel new and fresh and work a little bit better and still work with your design. And honestly, I mean, I kind of design a lot for how I design for myself. My house is not matchy-matchy. My house is a reflection of me. And it's filled with things that are meaningful to me. And that is what I'm really passionate about, is that people love the space they're in. And it doesn't mean that it has to look like it's a photo shoot for some magazine. It just has to work for you, right? And maybe not everything matches or color coordinates exactly, but if they're pieces that you love, I promise you it works.
Yeah.
It will work for you and in your space. Now I'm talking about when you're actually living in your house, staging, that's a whole different story. But when you're the one living in your home, you want it to feel like a reflection of you, and you want to feel comfortable in it. So Yeah, I mean, I love like that client who I did the bedrooms for, and she had the set of the floral prints. She's a landscape designer. She loves flowers. She loved those prints. And that kind of ended up being my inspiration for the design. So a lot of times that's what happens, you know, you give me something you love and I'm gonna create a design around it.
Barb, you've got a question?
Oh, I am unmuted. Sorry, I didn't realize I was.
That's okay.
Are there certain areas or certain types of rooms that you think this process works better in? Where, I mean, is there a size or just a particular area that the e-design is more effective in versus having you come out and do an actual on-site design?
I think the design can work for any area. To do like a whole house, it could be done, but it would, like, that would be something that it would be preferable to see something in person if they're just wanting multiple areas, you know, to kind of redo the whole house. That would be, I'm not saying it can't be done with this e-design. It would be a little more challenging. It definitely works best when there is like a specific room or a couple of rooms specifically that you're wanting to work on. I can do bathrooms and kitchens. However, it's a little bit different. It's usually, it would work best if you're kind of starting from scratch, just because if I'm not there to see like your existing countertop or the cabinets that are staying, if they're like a certain wood tone, sometimes that can be a little more challenging to do virtually. But I can, you know, pull in, you know, vanities and like quartz countertop colors or designs, sinks, faucets, flooring, paint color. You know, I use this tool with every single in-person design client I work with.
Okay.
Because it's such a good visual.
Yeah.
So, you know, although it's not maybe a lot of furniture that I'm working with, I can still create the design board with the tile and the, you know, all of that I just mentioned.
I can see that it would be really helpful. The last room, I wish I had known about this before, but we just modeled the basement I'm in right now, and it's a really odd shaped room. We ended up having to like give 2 feet from the furnace, and so it ended up being a room that goes like this, you know?
Yeah.
It would have been really helpful when I looked at that 3D, just the one looking down on it. I did a pretty poor floor plan kind of thing, but it would have been really helpful to work with you on that and get a sense of how things would fit and what kind of furniture to get. It would have really been helpful to work with you as we were doing this remodel.
Yeah.
So I'll be an evangelist for this for sure.
Well, thank you. I appreciate that.
I have been able to use this once. I didn't follow a lot of what Kristin, like the furniture wise, because I have very heavy office furniture that my husband refused to get rid of, and I didn't want to try to store it somewhere. So I stuck with it. But it was really helpful just to get me started, to give me a little more confidence around color and layout and some of those pieces that maybe I could have figured out on my own, but I didn't really trust myself.
Yeah.
So I waited and waited and waited like a year and a half before I actually did anything until I got the design from Kristin. So now I'm excited to do some of the other rooms.
Yeah.
And do you find that's one of the kind of key things with the people who are using this is that they all have an idea, but they don't quite trust their own taste?
Yeah, that's one of the type of people that love this particular service. Yeah, sometimes there are, like you were talking about, a room that kind of stumps you, or like I've worked with a client using this on this, they had this weird angled wall in their family room, and it just was bizarre. And I told them to paint it to kind of blend it in with the fireplace area.
Mhm.
And it like dramatically changed it, just a paint
Just the
color,
paint, yeah.
you know? So I think it's just a lot of times, honestly, it's like a fresh set of eyes
Mhm,
looking at it from a different point of view.
mhm.
Because I'm not living in the space, and I know in my own home, I could probably maybe do things a little bit better, but it's the way it's always been, right?
Yeah,
It's always been this way. It's this piece has always been here.
yes.
We can't do it any other way. It's just a lot of times it's just someone else thinking in a, outside the box for you, kind of.
Right. Well,
I walked around this morning taking pictures for you, so
Oh, okay, perfect.
trust me. I'm just like, oh my God.
well, good. I can't wait to see the before. I love before and afters. Those are great. And I love
Yeah.
the bedroom you did. That was really great with the color, the pop of that one, the kind of the dark red color or the orange color,
Mm-hmm.
the florals and
Yeah.
stuff. It's really
Yep.
cool.
Yeah, thank you.
So when
Well,
I move into my new apartment, we'll have to do it around my vermilion colored sofa because it's
Oh,
my,
yay.
I love it.
Oh, I love that.
Yeah,
That sounds
so-
like fun.
Yes, it'll be great. It's the color of my top. Whole sofa.
Awesome.
So any
Well,
final questions or any final words from you, Kristin?
I just want to thank everybody so much for taking the time to listen to me, and I'd love to help any of you with any of your needs. And Bill and Kelly, we can certainly talk further on your project, since it's multi-room.
Yes, plural.
And see if you think that would be a good fit to try and do virtually or not. So
Sounds good.
And I will be putting this recording in the village. Kelly, I put the link to the village in the chat over here. If you want to check us out, we would love to have you. I'll put the recording and the transcript in the village within the next few days.
Great.
We
Thank
will
you.
see everyone there. And Kristin, thank you for sharing your expertise with us. And I love this conversation. It was very inspiring. Thank you very much.
thank you. It was a lot of fun.
you.
Thanks so much, everybody. Have a great day.